Now that I got you all right where I want you, I'd like to buy all your chocolate.
Not sponsored by Body Armor. I only drink Body Armor Edge because I'm addicted to edging my penis to midget porn.
Well, we kind of got to get into that. You want to explain what edging is?
Basically, actually, it's funny that came up because I saw a funny little Reddit story about that I'll tell after I explain it. Edging is basically just masturbating almost to the point of orgasm and then stopping so that you can do it again over and over again. And I saw this dude on Reddit talking about how he edged for like 2 hours while his mom was gone. And this man decided to do it on the living room couch, of all places. And my man went too far, edged so hard that he literally passed out when he busted a nut. And he woke up 3 hours later, just ass naked, still covered in cum, but with a blanket thrown over him. And his mom was home and had brought over a bunch of family members.
That is so amazing. You just wake up and you're fucking butt-ass naked and you still have dry cum all over you.
Doing the jump man on the couch.
Spread eagle. Dude, fucking that reminds me of the time that I shotgunned to Four Loko and ate like 3 edibles. Fucking,
Dude, you probably shit yourself, didn't you?
No, I didn't shit myself. I fucking went, like, I was hanging out with Devin. I don't know if I should say last names, but Devin Kelly, Andrew Majors, and like a couple other people. And we were gonna have like a cool day at the pool and like have a couple people over and like at the neighborhood pool. Not like we had a backyard pool. We weren't that rich, but fucking
At Laurel.
yeah, at the Settlers Hammock. But fucking, we were all gonna go chill there, but for some reason we didn't. I think like the cops came or some stupid shit, and they're like, "You can't be here." I'm like, all right, and fucking, I went back to my house. And I don't really remember how it happened, but I went to lay down, and then I woke up to my mom, like, kicking me. Not kicking me, but, like, trying to, like, get me up. And she was like, Nathan, what is wrong with you? Because I, like, had thrown up all in the bathroom. Like, not in the bathroom, but, like, all in the toilet. And, like, I was laid out in the bathroom, just passed out with the door wide open. And my mom just walked in, looked to the right, and saw that, and was just like, what the fuck?
It's like 3:30 p.m.
Yeah, it was like fucking 5 because it was like in the summer and she was at work and then came home and was just like, Jesus Christ, get the fuck up. What are you doing? It's a Wednesday.
Dude, finds your ass just fucking in Family Guy position.
Literally, like whenever Peter falls down the slippery stairs and he's just...
Hey, Peter, you want to come down and join our book club? Sure.
Dude. I just had a fucking complete blank. But apparently Trevor Penning, the Saints left tackle, had like the best offensive rookie rating of anybody in the first preseason game. That doesn't mean much, but like, I thought that nigga was going to be crazy.
That's the dude that's built like a deep freeze, isn't it?
Dude, he's like 6'7", like 325 pounds, and can windmill dunk, like, confidently.
That's so fire to think about.
And like, he's like, he always would just beat people with like strength because he was in like the FCS or whatever the fuck, which is like a lower league of college football. And fucking, whenever he went up against someone that was better than him, he would just get physical as fuck and like throw him to the ground and like drop on him and get like 2 penalties on top of each other.
Oh my
and so it was
God.
like, that was a big worry, but he didn't do that yet. And like, whenever he's been going against like our offense in our training camp, he's made like 3 of our defensive players fight him, like just from because
they just hate getting babied.
Because he's like literally fucking. Well, I mean, they're grown men, so it's not like, and like some of them were like, one was a safety that was trying to come in on an edge rush, so of course he's gonna get beat. But it was just like, in a training camp, usually people are gonna like just block to where they need to and then probably stop.
Not
but
this
he didn't.
man.
No. He kept on going and was like blocking until the play was blown dead. And I was just like, wow.
Kind of what you got to do as a rookie, though, low key.
To prove yourself. And like, I'm like, I want that tough shit out of an offensive lineman. And like, even if he has like a bit of a struggle with like flags and shit, that's gonna be annoying. And I really hope that he doesn't. But I'm fine with that if he can get over it. And isn't just like what's his name? That guy that I love, the Richie Incognito. Dude, Richie
He's
Incognito.
a classic.
That is my favorite player of all time. He played like center or I think he might have been center or left guard or right guard. He wasn't a tackle. That's not important to the story. But like he used to play for like a bunch of different teams. He is on the Dolphins at one point.
Yeah, Dolphins is where I remember him from.
And him and a black teammate were out and like a couple other people. I don't remember this story really well, so you should not take my word for it. Look it up, but it's not too far off what I'm saying. And fucking the dude was like, I need to look this up before I say it, bro. I feel bad, but I just remember Richie Incognito is calling the dude a nigga, like a nigger, and like it was like funny to me because like the teammate, I'm pretty sure was just like, Richie, come on, bro, chill out. Yeah. It was just like I don't know. That's why damn. I hate whenever I start stories and realize I haven't read about them and like fucking.
Spreading misinformation's the best, though.
Yeah, Richie Incognito called me a nigger, and I was very offended. That's what the story was.
Dude, I think Richie Incognito is like the first time that I ever saw someone get in trouble for calling someone a faggot.
Wait, like in the locker room or like just where?
I think it was one of his teammates for sure. I don't know what the setting was, but I think he was like roasting him hella and calling him a faggot, and he got in trouble for it.
Yeah, and Michael Sam was just there like,
yeah, just dead silent.
Everyone talks about that Carl Nassib guy. Fucking how he's the first gay guy in the league.
Is he?
No. Michael Sam was in the league. He played for the
Troy
Rams.
Aikman was in the league.
Okay, I thought you were about to say Troy Polamalu, and I was going to be really disrespected, but that is fucking
Troy
funny.
Troy Polamalu's sick.
Dude, I saw a post. I was like, who's better, Troy Polamalu or Ed Reed? And it showed their highlights. And Ed Reed and him both had insane highlights.
I know.
Like, fucking Troy Polamalu would, like, dive and, like, get, like, a little hand under a ball and, like, catch that shit right before it landed.
I forgot. Like, he had so many plays where it would just be, like, a deflected ball, like, about to touch the ground, and he just dives from off frame and snags that shit, like, before it touches the grass.
Dude, I watched a video of Troy Polamalu, like, this was, like, probably right after I stopped giving a fuck about, like, Christianity. Well, not whenever I stopped giving a fuck. I never really did. Right whenever I was allowed to publicly stop giving a fuck about Christianity.
Publicly denounced the religion.
Exactly. And fucking, because my mom didn't, the reason why is because my mom would make me go to church every fucking week. And then fucking, if I didn't go, like whenever I would do the thing where I'd pretend to be asleep for too long so I didn't have to go to that stupid shit, she would take my power cord to my Xbox.
She'd make you stand in an Iron Maiden for 12 hours a day.
Yeah. What is an Iron Maiden?
Those are like those like standing coffin things that like hinge shut and they're full of spikes.
I thought that was just the band name.
No.
But fucking, she would take the power cord to my Xbox, and I had a second power cord, so I would just plug that in and play it. But then whenever she was about to get home, I had to turn it off and then like hide it, and then like just sit there and be like, nah. Exactly. And she wouldn't give that shit back like all day, and I was just like, bruh, this is my Sunday. I am not trying to spend fucking a third of it. Like, this is the last day I have before I go, like, all right, so I guess I should explain my fucking weekend days hierarchy. Friday is the best. Even though you work on a Friday, you're like, yes, I do this and I'm done.
It's the sweet freshness of the freedom.
Saturday is the second best for me personally because I like, usually I'm going to sleep through my Saturday. Not like, I'll say just actual Saturday, even though my days are adjusted for like when I'm actually off, but I'm just saying the weekend days. Saturday is the second best because you sleep through a good bit of it. And then you wake up.
Day of rest.
Exactly. And then you get to go and do whatever afterwards.
Yep.
Then it's
still
like,
got all night.
Yeah, Sunday is like, man, this is really the worst out of all the days.
Waiting
like,
for your execution.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like a nigga on his death, like in death row, and he's just in a cell, and he knows that tomorrow's the day.
Yeah, you just hear the church bells ringing. Just,
dude, Sunday's the worst. So like, I would be like, on a Sunday, bro, you're gonna make me spend the first like third of, because it's like, it's not just go for an hour. If it was just go for an hour, I would champ that shit. It's wake up at like 7, go to the fucking stupid like Sunday service thing that starts at like 8, doesn't end until like 9:30. Then we go into a sermon, and then that shit doesn't end until like fucking 12, like from like 10 around to like fucking 12:30,
and then all the adults stand around for an hour.
They sit around there talking, and I'm like, Mom, I don't give a fuck about these stupid people. Take me home.
Yeah,
I want to go home and play basketball.
I've already been groomed for 4 hours. Please take me home.
Dude, I'm so sick of it. And it was just dumb because like the only time that was fire was when I sat with Dennis, because Dennis and his mom would be on their phones and not give a fuck, and I was just like, let's go, bruh. These niggas aren't about it either, and they're just there to be there, and I'm like, that's what you need to do. But like, I would be on my phone and fucking there was a certain part where I was dating the pastor's daughter, so the pastor would be giving me looks, and I wouldn't do that at that point. But then after that, like, whenever I wasn't, I was like, I don't give a fuck. And he'd still give me looks and talk to me about it, and I was just like, whatever, bro. Like, they were cool people, but, like, I did not want to be there.
Yeah, that's that gay shit.
Yeah, that's that gay shit. That's the definition of that gay shit.
Dude, I always forget that my dad, like, goes to church literally every weekend. That shit's, like, so random to me, low-key.
You told me that, like, whenever I first started hanging out with you and we smoked back in 11th grade. Like,
you were like, what?
Yeah, because I met him the first time that I was over at your house, and I was saying some wild shit that we're not going to get into. And your mom was like, you got to go. But your dad, you and your dad were having a good rapport. And then, like, fucking, the next few times I came over, your dad was just not there. Like, he was, like, playing his game in his room, or, like, he was just not,
Bergdorf.
like... Yeah, he was just not, like... I don't know. We didn't talk to him that much. But then I started talking to him more and, like, figuring out that he was just a funny-ass nigga. And, like... And I don't mean literally. Jake is not half black. Don't get me. He's ethnically ambiguous. He's not mixed. That's not why I allow him to say nigger. But fucking... Anyways... Jimbo was like a cool ass dude, and fucking, I was just like, you told me, you're like, yeah, he goes to church, probably fucking some fat black woman. And I was just like, that is so funny. Like, that blew me away that Jimbo of all people went to church.
Dude, I know. I respect it. It's just like hella random.
Yeah, because like he was like, also another thing about him is he's like a fucking genius. Like, the shit he went to college for, like all his classes that he took were insane. Like, I don't even, whenever he explains the title of them, I'm just like,
Dude, yeah, like the other day he was talking about some shit because you asked him about it.
Yeah, I said, what was the hardest class you took? He said, like, X-ray
diffractions.
Yeah. And it was like, what the fuck does that mean? And he was like, oh, well, it was this thing where you would use X-ray to, like, identify certain material. And he was saying it was, like, powdery shit is what it worked best on. It was like I don't know, a talcum powder is the one I said, and I guess that is a powder, so it counts. But
yeah,
fucking, he's like a genius. And so, like, he also talked about, like, physics shit, and so I'm just thinking, like, that was when I was an angry little atheist going around trying to convert everybody to atheism. Like, that was my religion in Civ 6.
Yeah.
But fucking, I just assumed, I'm like, oh, this guy's, like, very intelligent and clearly knows a lot about science. He's definitely a fucking atheist. And then, like, you said that, and I was just like, what?
Yeah,
That'd be like if someone was like Stephen Hawking. I mean, I'm not putting him on same level as Stephen Hawking smart, but like that'd be like on the same level as if someone was like Stephen Hawking believes in God, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I just want to know why. Yeah. What do you have, like Stephen Hawking? What is there in your life? Well, he's dead, but what would there have been in your life that made it worth living, nigga? You're a parallelogram. I mean, a paraplegic, and fucking.
Dude, we can get away with ableism by just calling fucking crippled people parallelograms from now on. Ableist remarks. That's my favorite new bigotry. Ableism.
It's like if you ask a person that's in a wheelchair, hey, do you think you'd be a lot happier if you weren't in a wheelchair? What do you think they would say to that? Because I don't think that they would be offended and be like, oh man, no, I want to be in my wheelchair, man.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, yeah, man, I miss playing basketball when I was a kid.
Yeah, I miss being able to not I miss whenever going down a staircase was a fatal mistake.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I miss when my wife couldn't take a broomstick and immobilize me from just sticking it in between the spokes of my fucking wheelchair. I miss that. Or if he's fucking Stephen Hawking. I miss. Well, that's too much fucking mouth movement already. I miss moving around and getting pussy.
Not enough of an angle on that spine.
Oh, yeah. In the face. I miss moving. Because, back whenever he was doing that, like, they sped up his interviews because it took him a minute. Like, he's barely doing this. He took him a minute to be able to do that. So, I miss getting pussy. And fucking Stephen Hawking is just sitting there miserable, but he's like, I'm doing this science shit.
Stephen Hawking need that Stephen Gawking.
Yeah, I was going to say that Stephen Cocking. I thought that dude was a faggot. Oh,
he
damn
probably
it.
is. I mean, he's British.
Yeah, automatically. Dude, so we
the
always
one
make...
on the F counter.
Yeah, I know. We always fucking make fun of British people and, like, French people and, like, don't really give a context as to a why. I mean, we do sometimes. I saw, like, that Just Pearly Things girl fucking love her YouTube channel. It's a woman.
Dude, yeah, she is wifey as fuck.
Exactly. Even if she was like hideous, still it's like you consider because she's just fucking knows what the fuck she's talking about. I mean, that's not true. I'm looking at the looks first, but like she's not ugly. But she just sits there and like she has women on and men on, and like usually whenever you get in an argument with a woman, they'll just kind of resort to, well, you're not a woman, so you would never know, and it just boils the argument down to nothing.
Yeah.
And that's really fucking annoying. Well, one, because it's like we're preaching for equality, but because I'm a man, I can't speak on it. But you are allowed to speak on my
and
topics.
it's like we're on a show trying to have a discussion, but I'm a man, so I guess we can't talk about it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's annoying. Like with the fresh and fit niggas, like they kind of give off the vibe of like dweebs in real life.
Yeah, so they can just, all the chicks can just write off what they're saying and be like, oh, well, you're just like mad and want pussy.
And so it's like, and people can discount them. Like, I have people that are like, oh, you really watch that? And I'm just like, yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah. But fucking, and I like to get mad. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but I like to watch the shit that's going to make me mad. Like, whenever I go into these videos, it'll literally be in the title, like telling me, what, like that is about to piss me off because it's like woman thinks that men have no challenges. Like I was watching a Just Pearly Things video and she was talking about like she just had this girl on and she just was like, it started off talking about, do women lack accountability? And
the chick just diverted accountability the entire fucking time.
She said, okay, so originally she was like, no, like women, I think actually she asked the girls first and all of them went around and they're like, yeah, kind of, I could kind of see it. And then the dudes went and they answered and they're like, yeah, like they do. And then she's like, okay, can I ask you the guys why? And they're like, one of the dudes is like, oh, well, I just think that it's not like something that's nailed in their head from the time that they're young. And then like the girl was like, I just took offense to something he said and then went to complete fucking buffoonery, just not taking any accountability at all. Well, actually, it's not even buffoonery. It's like literally kind of impressive because it's like a fucking chess match, but like one person doesn't know the moves and somehow they're just magically moving the pieces in a, like they're not following the rules is the thing.
Yeah.
It's like they'll just move a pawn backwards if you're about to get it and be like, nope, you can't do that. And it's annoying. And like
the guy's just sitting there like
straight faced. But fucking with the pearl girl, well, she's a girl. So like they can't just go to like, oh, well, you're a guy, so. And it's so fucking funny.
But they still like low key try to, but then they're like, fuck.
Dude, they'll be like, well, you can see the gears turning. They're like, as a white woman, though, you do recognize that it's a little bit different for you.
Something.
Dude, that's what Kurt Metzger, I love his comedy. I love everything about Kurt Metzger. He calls that an intersectionality car crash. And it's like, oh, well, who's more oppressed? Well, I'm a woman. Well, I'm a Muslim. I'm a black woman. And it's just like, nigga, we're people. You're a person. And like, Pearl had one take that was like a little bit crazy that I will say, like, I don't even think she really believes this, but she was just saying like, posing it as a question, like in a question format that she knows is going to have a disagreement so you can have an interesting conversation. Mm-hmm. She's like, should we get rid of birth control because it takes accountability from women? Mm-hmm. And like, obviously, no one thinks that that's a good idea because we all like having sex
for the sake of the thought exercise.
Yeah. And like, the women were just like, how does it take accountability off of the women? And then she's like, well, women don't really have any accountability because like, if they want to, they can go have sex with whoever they want now and not have the fear of getting pregnant. If they want to not work, they will most likely get taken up by a guy that'll let them live with them. And if they end up getting homeless, then they literally have like a woman's shelter. And she was like, someone was on the show was like, oh yeah, women might have a glass ceiling, but they also have like a couch for a floor. So they never hit the floor as hard. Like they don't have to like go into real reality. They're allowed to just like be psychopaths and fucking walk around not understanding what reality. Cause like women really think that it's easier for dudes and that just cause we're dudes, we have fucking some sort of privilege.
It's like, no, we're just okay with working in a coal mine.
Yeah, we're okay. Like, I don't care. I'm working in a battery factory. There was a part, like, first, like, 6 months where I was...
They were literally dumping toxic fucking chemicals on your skull that you were inhaling daily.
I didn't give a fuck. And there was...
They didn't give a fuck either.
They didn't give a fuck. And fucking, like, we get paid more than, like, if I wanted to work at, like, a grocery store or, like, fucking somewhere that it's easy. Because, like, I get, like... There were chicks that worked with us. There were some tough girls. And, like, fucking... There were some that didn't like it and would move out. But fucking... A lot of them actually didn't like it and would move out. And I mean, that's not anything against them. That's just not the type of fucking work they want to do. And
as long as I ain't gonna quit that job and go work at fucking Walmart and then complain about the wage gap.
Yeah, that shit is annoying as fuck too, because every time that gets brought up, women really pretend it's real just because they want it to be. And she'll be like, no, there's multiple things that go into it. And it's like, all right, candidate A and candidate B. Fucking candidate A has 20 years of work experience as an electrician. Candidate B only has like 10 years. Candidate A has fucking been with the same company the entire time. Candidate B has been jumping around from company to company. Mm-hmm. Candidate A is working like fucking 50 hours a week. Candidate B is working 38 hours a week. And then you fucking just compare those, like, you compare them, and like candidate A is a man and candidate B is a woman, and they're like,
oh, it's because of the gender.
Yeah, and it's like,
not any of the other three factors.
It's like, no. There's many other things that go into it. Also, fucking Jordan Peterson nails this point into the fucking ground. It's about fucking agreeableness. Men are less agreeable. They're more likely to ask for a fucking raise. Women are like, it's like a 60% chance in a woman's life that she won't ever ask for a raise.
It's not like agreeableness is a fucking bad thing.
No, that's what, and that's another thing.
That's how it is.
Like whenever you're raising a kid, you want agreeableness. I'm like, if I had to raise a kid by myself, I'd be able to do it, but like, it would not be fun. Like, I would not have a good time, like, whenever the baby starts crying and I've done everything I think I can do and it's still crying.
That window would be looking mighty tempting.
Yeah, I would be like, I'm going to feed you to the fucking coyotes, you little brick of meat. I hate you.
Gonna pull a no-hands Michael Jackson on that little fucker.
Dude, yeah, the fucking, whenever he held, you know, and his son's name was Blanket.
No, Blanket.
Dude, whenever he held Blanket up like he was the Lion King.
I stayed in that fucking hotel in Berlin.
What?
Yeah, the one he held Blanket out the window of.
That was in Berlin?
I'm 99% sure.
That's crazy. I thought that was just at the ranch that he was fucking all those other little boys at.
Dude, greatest fucking Cat Williams bit of all time. I'm pretty sure you told the Stockton boys about it the other day, but it was like, he was like, if you like bitches, you fill your house with shit bitches like. What did Michael Jackson fill his house with? Shit that kids like. What's that mean, motherfucker?
Like, if you think about it, if you're trying to, like, to go on that farther, whenever you make your house up, like, for me, my room, it's kind of clean right now. That's not the norm. I can
only happens when you're about to fuck a woman.
Thank you. Yeah, but I didn't want to say it, but thank you.
I cleaned both my rooms, my fucking car, did my goddamn laundry, changed my sheets and my blanket for the first time in months just to fuck a chick the other night.
Exactly. You want it to be nice and like set up for a woman. I could live in a pigsty personally, but like the reason why whenever I get money, I'm gonna have a big fucking fish tank. I'm gonna have the crown molding
because bitches love fish tanks and crown molding.
Exactly.
Motherfucker.
I'm gonna have a big ass fucking rug. I'm gonna have a bearskin rug whenever Devin's fucking grandpa dies. He's already promised it to me. But I hope he
rug watching.
Yeah, I am. I'm a fucking heart attack. Please, just kidding. Unless not really. But fucking. Anyways, I'm gonna have a bunch of shit that bitches like. Now, Michael Jackson, he's not like you would think he's the king of pop. He's big fucking huge. He's like, there's no comparison. Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. Fucking, you think he'd have bitches over all the time, like Whitney Houston, just all the bitches. Didn't really have that many bitches over. But he did have a lot of children over. A lot of children. And he set it up with like a Ferris wheel, with like a petting zoo, all this stuff to impress a kid. And then at the end of that, he would suck their dick because he was chemically castrated by his father so he could keep his high-pitched voice when he was younger. And so he wasn't even like, he's like Harvey Weinstein. Like, are we really going to be mad at him? He was eating bitches' pussy. People keep on saying he was raping bitches.
Dude, honestly, though. That was the most based angle on Harvey Weinstein I've ever heard. I never even thought about it like that.
He had Fournier's Gangrene. Look that up if you want to. I am not putting up an image of that. I will put up you know what? That's the title of this episode is Fournier's Gangrene. But fucking look up the name of this title. If you want to see something disgusting. It's the disease that Harvey Weinstein had, and a lot of diabetics
and Evan Fournier gave it to him.
Okay. That's the point. Is he still in the Magic?
I hope not, for his sake.
Yeah. But anyways, fucking, I think they got Coley at the... But anyways, I'm fucking ADHD. Fournier's Gangrene. Diabetic people get that shit a lot, and like Harvey Weinstein had diabetes, and like whenever you're diabetic and you cut your foot, I don't know exactly the thing that it is, but you can die from that. Because
I don't get how that shit works either.
You get an infection really easily, and I don't know what it is. Look it up.
I think it's because you don't get enough blood flow or something down there.
Something like
so
that.
It just like rots.
Yeah, it doesn't clot up. And fucking, if you get really fat, you can't even feel your feet. So then you'll like sometimes fucking... Well, actually...
Or they'll like tingle hella hard.
Wheelchair people are people that really can't feel the bottom of their like shoes or the bottom of their feet. They have to wear shoes everywhere, and they have to get their feet checked constantly because they wouldn't feel it if they got a cut, and that would fucking just do the same thing.
Just fucking rot without them even knowing.
So, Harvey Weinstein, I guess whenever you do a lot of dick pills, like, you know how they say...
don't work no more.
Whenever you do, like... weed, you know how they say it's a gateway drug, which is kind of right, because like I don't know if I would have got to acid if I never smoked weed, but like fucking, you know how the weed is the gateway, and then eventually it leads you to this, and then to this, and then to this, but allegedly, but fucking dick pills are the gateway to dick injections, which is like what Harvey was doing.
Dick injections?
Yes.
That's kind of sick.
And so that's why he got Fournier's gangrene, is because he was shooting the needle into his cock, and then like the needle mark is in there, nigga.
Track marks on his cock?
Yes. He had a destroyed dick. Like, he cannot... that thing was not doing any work, ever. There was no... He's not fucking a bitch with that. It would... Like, the reason that came out was because in his court trial, one of the ladies that was there was like, I felt bad. I thought he was intersexual. Which was... That's not transsexual. That's like where you are literally born.
Like you have ambiguous genitalia that don't work.
And they either... cut off one or the other, or like make it into one. And like she was like, I feel bad for like him. I feel like
with that combo strap.
Yeah. But fucking she was like, I feel bad for him. And so they had to like show pictures of it. It's disgusting. And like he would not have been able to put that in a bitch.
Yeah.
Like it would have hurt him.
Yeah.
So he is taking these actresses, let's say
Jennifer Lawrence.
And he's saying, get on the table, lay down, I'm gonna eat your pussy, and then you get to be fucking Katniss Everdeen.
Dude, it wasn't even like that. It was like, I'm gonna buy you a nice ass fucking hotel room, and I'm gonna come up, eat your pussy on the bed for 45 minutes, and then you get to be Katniss Everdeen.
Wow. Imagine if that was reversed.
Oh no.
Oh no. What's her name? Damn it, she's the lady that's Meryl Streep. Whenever she becomes a director, oh no, Meryl Streep grabbed me up and took me to New York City, and she put me in a penthouse, and she came up and sucked my dick.
She gave me the best comer of my life.
That's not it. After she sucked my dick for more time, and then she made me fucking Black Panther. Nigga, what? Shut your mouth. This is what I'm talking about. Why we fucking hate these bitches. You're so ungrateful. What are you doing complaining about that? Like, the women and children are the same thing. Like, the stupid kids that complain about Michael Jackson fucking letting them go to their petting zoo, ride a fucking Ferris wheel, a roller coaster.
Head from the King of Pop.
Oh, no. You got blown by Michael Jackson. Oh, that's so bad. Wait a minute, though. Maybe it's that the kids aren't telling because they're so upset, and they're doing the thing that guys do whenever they go and fuck a teacher, and they tell all the homies, and they're like, bro, you'll never guess who I tagged last night. And you tell the homies, and they're like, no way, bro, she's fucking students. I want to go fuck her.
And so then they tell the cops.
Not even.
Your gig.
Not even. They go and say, you have to let me fuck you because you let this person fuck, and if you don't, I'm telling. And the teacher dips and fucking...
That'd be kind of a cracked scheme. I'm not gonna lie, you got me thinking.
Nah, bro, that ruins the gig for the other nigga. But I mean, the thing is, though, is they're kids. Of course they're gonna do that because they haven't had pussy and they want it. Let me just explain something. When you're like a 16-year-old dude, once you've had pussy once... That's all you're thinking. Well, let me say, that's all I was thinking about. I'm playing soccer out there. I wasn't thinking about college. I'm like, looking at this. I'm looking up. Bro, deadass, I was looking in the stands and seeing what bitches are here, because that's the reason I'm trying to make these plays. Fucking pussy was running me. I wanted to get pussy. So.
I feel like I was thinking about pussy all the time more before I ever got it, though.
That is true.
Like in you can't tell me in like 7th and 8th grade you didn't have this delusion like, oh, I'm gonna have sex any day now. It's like, bro, you're 14.
Dude, I didn't even have my first kiss until I was like fucking 15. And so I was just like thinking, I was like, man, I watch a lot of porn, so I'll probably be way better at sex than I am at kissing.
Dude, when did I mean, my first actual quality kiss was probably like 15 or 16 too. I don't even know.
Dude. I mean, I don't know. I felt like it was late. I guess it's probably about the average time. But, like, there was, like, a couple niggas, like, a few.
Somebody had me thinking that I was supposed to be fucking in 8th grade. I don't know who it was, but somebody had me thinking that.
Not even, like, that I should be fucking, but it was just, like, I mean, the cool niggas are fucking.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't want to be a non-cool nigga. Like, in middle school, I would literally go around and just try and, like, meet all the niggas. I didn't give a fuck. Like, the bitches, it was like, well, like, I am trying to, like, be with them, but by me meeting them is not going to make me like them, or make them like me. Like, they're going to have to think I'm a cool-ass nigga fucking running the shit in kickball. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to be cool with every nigga, and then it'll make me cool. And, like, I was just worried about that. And then 9th grade came, and I was just like, yeah, there's so many people here, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And then, half of them are fucking retarded anyway. Yeah.
Dude, it was weird, though, because, like, I wanted to be with the St. Mary's niggas. Cause like,
dude, yeah,
mainly for the
St. Mary's gang was dope.
Mainly for the soccer shit though, cause like, literally, whenever it was Camden versus St. Mary's, it was like 4 soccer players on Camden, and then just like the other people that came out, like the tryouts.
Yeah, just randoms.
And then it would be St. Mary's with a full team of people that plays.
Yeah.
Oh my god, reminiscing on fucking middle school, dude. I remember 7th grade we got smashed both times by St. Mary's. And fucking 8th grade, we lost one and won one. And fucking, I remember how good it felt to win that one. Dude, and Jalen Davis got a fucking banger goal.
That's so funny.
Dude. Oh my god. You know Judge Judy makes $55 million a year?
Yes.
Isn't that insane?
And she has been forever, too.
Why? She's not even a real judge.
I have no idea how she makes that much fucking revenue off of her shit.
Who's still watching? What? No, actually, wait a minute, though.
I guess the same people who've been watching since day one, probably.
They'd have to have been dying out, though.
The rotting boomers.
I mean, they have to be dying out. I've definitely watched Judge Judy before. Like, I've watched a full episode, and, like, just because it was on in, like, a hotel or, like, at an airport.
But there's no shot it brings in enough revenue for her to be making $55 million a year.
Dude, I mean, what if she's, like, fucking a real judge... And, like, she's just, like, she's the one that let Epstein off. And, like, that's why she got that money. Like, you know how fucking Epstein had that stupid Lex Wexner fucking connection? The dude that owns Victoria's Secret. He's just like, oh, here, take my $1 billion estate, Epstein.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. That's a dude that he knows is Les Wexner. That's
a disgusting fucking name. You know that dude fucks children.
Yeah.
With zero remorse.
And no reason. He was just, here, take my thing. So it's either he was scared he was going to say something or he just wanted to give him that. And I don't know very many reasons that you would want to give someone $1 billion estate and like, be like, here, take this property. Unless they were like doing something for you very illegal. Which, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein is a known pedophile and like, sex trafficker, so it's not like out of the realm of consideration. You know,
dude, what if that's actually Victoria's secret? Is that she's an 11-year-old girl that's been locked in a basement for 8 years, getting raped by Les Wexner?
Dude, that's like the 5th season of Dexter. Whenever it was fucking that Jordan Chase nigga. You watched Dexter, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was that Jordan Chase nigga that was he was the inspirational speaker. If you want something, take it.
Oh my god, and then fucking, dude.
He was raping and murdering women and putting them in barrels. Dude, well, no, actually, he left it to that stupid fucking... That guy that was taking out the dead bodies.
Pest control guy?
Not even pest control. He was literally dead body disposal. Like
and he was the one putting them in like the blue barrels in the swamp, right?
Mm-hmm. That was his job to dispose of them. And they were like,
Dexter went to his like shitty, disgusting trap house and got his ass.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he caught Dexter lacking when he went to his house.
Yeah, he did because he had the fucking gun, or something happened, and fucking both of them were in the hospital. No, Dexter did get him at his house. All right, I remember. Dexter called him to like come pick up a dead animal, and he brought the syringe to also get somebody because he was looking for the dead animal and couldn't find it. And then they got each other, and somehow the ambulances came, and they took them to the hospital. And the dude that Dexter got the piece of shit guy, he fucking, well, I mean, they're both serial killers, but like fucking, he gets up and gets a knife and is about to go kill Dexter in his hospital bed, and then he goes and rings open the curtain, and Dexter's not there. Then he goes home and is just like kind of, oh, this fucking bullshit. And like, he didn't know Dexter knew where he lived, and that's where Dexter got him. And then he killed him, and that's where Lumen saw Dexter kill him, because Lumen was that blonde bitch that fucking was down there, and she was like number 13 or something. That was one of the bitches that dude is supposed to kill. And then like Dexter was like, oh fuck, I just got witness murdering. And then like
then he realized she's insane too.
Yeah, well, she was crazy because she just got fucking like raped and tortured, and that dude was supposed to kill her, and she thought she was gonna die. Then comes out, sees that the dude that was doing all that got killed by a dude. And then she's like, well, he's killing, but
gamer Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, well, she was like, well, I don't know. I think she like ran away from him, and Dexter like chased her and like had a knife and was like, here, and like gave her the knife and was like, I'm not dangerous. And she fucking slashed him. And then
Dude,
he's like,
didn't she like actually try and kill his ass for real later?
No, I don't think so. Fucking another interesting arc.
No, she like tied him down and fucked him in that like Christmas land.
That was Hannah McKay, the bitch that went off with Harrison. Whenever at the end of the show, I'm gonna spoil it. It's an old show. Whenever fucking Dexter faked his death and like sent his son Harrison away, that was the blonde bitch Hannah McKay. I remember that series. I remember exactly what you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure that was the other serial killer woman. Because like she was in a Bonnie and Clyde scenario. I love Dexter. She was in a Bonnie and Clyde scenario with an older dude, and like she got off because she snitched on the older dude and was like, I got taken when I was young. I didn't know anything. During the entire thing, I was scared and just doing what I needed to survive.
She's also a sicko.
Dexter did he like would go back to the old like spots and like found out, like he was like, oh yeah, the story she told, like where it was this dude came up and shot both of them, doesn't make any sense because they would have reacted. And like he did
his little crime scene investigation.
Exactly.
Giant.
And then fucking he's like, this bitch is lying. And
Bro was playing L.A. Noire in that bitch.
Dude, Dexter was so fired because he was like, he made me think I'm gonna go solve a crime. I could be Nathan the crime solving nigger. But, well, damn. I could have said nigga there. But hey, I want to get my nigger production up anyways.
Just edit in a little voice clip of you going, at the end to cover the hard R.
Do you remember that guy named Niga Higa?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember this dude, Brandon Fletcher, told me about that shit. And he was like, oh, his name is Niga Higa. And Brandon was like this little Indian. You know, it was weird. I never thought of what the fuck he was. He was definitely ethnic. But he told me about him. I was like, you know, you're saying nigga, right? And he's like, he's sat there and he's like, oh my God, no. And they're just like laughing. But fucking, dude, I wonder what happened to that guy.
Is he a cool guy?
Yeah, he was pretty cool. He seemed like scared though. Like always like frightened. But have you ever heard the fucking Charles Manson thing? Like the story of like what? So do you know about Charles Manson at all?
Somewhat.
So basically, in the 60s, he was this dude that, like, got together a family of, like, hippies, which back in the day, hippies weren't, like, people think there are these people that were all about peace. There were people that didn't want to get jobs and, like, stuff and, like, would literally mooch off the world and, like, walk around trying to get whatever they could. But he got a bunch
like
of...
the white girls now that are like, oh, capitalism sucks because I don't want to work.
Exactly.
But not because of other stuff.
Exactly them. And fucking... There are some crazy ass niggas in there too, because like usually a dude understands he's got to work, and if he doesn't,
then he's insane.
he's got something wrong, some screws loose, like Tex Watson. But he got like those hippie girls together. Like there's a couple of them, I can't remember their names. He had a lot of them, and he was like giving them acid, and he would take small amounts or none at all, and like fake take it, and like convince them that he was taking a lot, and like be like, see, I'm still lucid, I'm normal, like I'm God, and convince them basically that he was like So this is like what the theory is. Like it is for sure that he fucking like did have those kids and he was giving them acid and he was training them. Fucking the part that becomes conjecture is why he was doing it is he was telling them that there was a thing called Helter Skelter, which was a race war that was coming very soon that was going to end with the blacks killing the whites, and they were going to go into a giant hole in the desert in fucking California, and they were going to come out after the blacks had won, and because the blacks were inferior to them, they were going to quickly accept them as their rulers, and they were going to take over as the leader of them, and then they were going to kill off the blacks, and they were going to spread their genes, and they were going to repopulate the world.
Nice.
That's Helter Skelter.
Just with his fucking cum.
That's what they said that Charles was saying to those people. But the other side of it,
U.S. government.
now, okay, Charles Manson, he used to do like petty crimes and shit. Like, not petty crime. Like, whenever his mom was a hooker and like he would see it and like it fucked him up. He was not a good kid. Like, from a young age, like 14, he'd
just traumatized as fuck.
He would be like stealing, and that's not an excuse, obviously, but he would be like stealing cars, doing a bunch of fucked up shit, and he'd always get arrested. They'd be like, Charles, if you keep on acting like this, you're never gonna get out of the prison system. He didn't give a fuck. As soon as he'd get out, he'd go and do shit. Like, all throughout like the 50s and the early 60s, they lock him up for the right amount of time, and then it would just be like, all right, well, now you're out, go ahead and go do whatever you're gonna do. And then he would do it and get locked back up. But then there was like 67, I believe, whenever he got this, he got a new parole officer. I forgot his name.
And wasn't that guy like literally like
a part of MK Ultra? Yes.
And he was like basically Charles Manson's biggest fucking influence for the rest of his life, wasn't he?
There was other influences, but he was there. He wasn't an influence as much as he was like his guardian angel. Like,
really?
Like, Charles would get out, go do the same crime, and they would be about to lock him up, and that dude would be like, no, send him back out. He's fine. And they'd be like, what? And like,
he's like, don't question it.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I think I have it in my notes. It's like David something. Hold up. I'm almost positive I have it in my notes, actually.
I know you've told me about this guy, though.
I think it's like David Smith is his parole officer, and like he's like, no, just let him out. And that guy was also like working in the Haight-Ashbury Project, which was like a thing down in San Francisco, and the Haight-Ashbury is like a very popular street there whenever there's not roaming gangs of homeless people shitting all over the place.
Yeah, people just zombified on heroin.
Yeah, it used to be back in the 60s like a big popular place where like all the hippies and shit would be. So I guess not very much different. And like fucking
dude, that's where we took Jaden when we went to San Francisco, and that's why he's like,
I don't like it here.
I hate this. What if they touch me?
Dude, that is so funny. I can't. Jaden probably wouldn't enjoy going anywhere because like, I mean, San Francisco sucks, but like now like Los Angeles also sucks. And fucking like New York City, not better. But anyways,
no, New York City's the worst. You know my opinion, though. We don't need to get into that. Back to Manson.
The Haight-Ashbury Project. That dude that was Manson's parole officer is working there. And that's ran by a dude named Jolly West. His name was like something... You'd have to actually... If you look up Jolly West, he'll come up. He was a psychiatrist that fucking... was also a part of MK Ultra. Him and this dude named Sidney Gottlieb. Like... Gottlieb. Isn't that such a funny from Neo Yokio? But fucking anyways, like those two are running MK Ultra.
His name was Gottlieb in Neo Yokio.
One of his best friends.
His name was just straight up Gottlieb.
It was Kaz Gottlieb and what was that other dude's name? It wasn't I think it was like Stacy was the other dude's name, but Gottlieb was the white one.
I need to rewatch that shit.
I haven't watched it in a while. But anyways, fucking that dude, those two were running MK Ultra. Like there's a bunch of connections and you could fucking go all through it. Jolly West, also interesting story. He was at Lackland Air Force Base as one of the head psychiatrist guys because he had worked all over at like colleges and shit and was a known like guy. Like he's a big psychologist and fucking he was working with a guy, I forgot his fucking name. God damn it. And I had that in my notes, I swear. But the dude fucking, he had migraines that were so bad that he would have to dip his head in like a bucket of ice. And like after having Jolly West like as his psychiatrist for a while, the dude, so there's a little bit more of a backstory I guess that goes into it. There's these two parents that like they live in a house that doesn't have any AC and it's hot. So they go out to a bar and they bring their kids, which is like a normal thing in the small town back in the 50s. And like their daughter's out playing in the front and like they're in there drinking for a little bit and they come outside to check on her and she's gone. And what happened to her is that guy that worked at the Air Force Base came, grabbed the little girl, dragged her like miles away to this like fucking quarry, raped her, like just killed her horribly, and then like came out of the like by the quarry and like two quarry workers saw him and he was like covered in scratches and blood and was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't even know who I am. And like they were like, what is happening? And they said that he seemed like he was drunk and like they gave him over to the Lackland Air Force Police Base, like the police niggas on the base.
The MPs.
Yeah, and they're just like sitting there questioning him. And the dude, like they're like, he didn't seem lucid and he was scared as fuck, like hallucinating. Thought that there was like people coming after him and like fucking...
AKA high as fuck on acid.
Yeah, like crazy as fuck. That was Jolly West's patient. And I mean... that doesn't mean anything. There's more information that goes on that, but I did not prepare
really
for this.
Gave that man 1,000 micrograms and had him asleep, hypnotized, and he was like, "When you wake up, you will abduct, rape, and murder a little girl."
Dude, the thing is that they were literally trying to create something that's known as a Manchurian Candidate, which is a movie which is based on like what they were trying to do here, what they were trying to do in Russia, because every country wanted one of those. A Manchurian Candidate is a person that you can convince to, against all their morals, go and kill somebody and have no recollection or like memory or any sense of anything about it.
Jesus.
And like that's what they were trying to do with the MK Ultra project, which is hard to tell because whenever Sidney Gottlieb and fucking Jolly West came together for like one of the last times, they're like, burn everything. Don't let them get anything. And anything that you can read is pretty much redacted. So like it's fucking black bars all over. It'll be like, this is a page, one sentence you read, one sentence down here. Well, that's good enough for this entire page.
And they cut out all the keywords too, so you just have like the shell of the sentence with none of the fucking content.
Yeah. And
it's like the and but and all the rest is black.
One thing they were doing in San Francisco was called fucking Operation Midnight Climax, where they were setting up brothels. It's exactly what it sounds like. They were setting up brothels, and they would take these guys that they called Johns, and they would just have like, whenever the girl would walk out of the room, they would spray like acid aerosols into the air, and like fucking he would be breathing it in, and they would be recording the entire thing because they want to see what like acid does to a person that isn't aware they're being given acid. Because like whenever it got created, people really didn't know like what the fuck it was. They were like we can't, like, what if the president's in another place and like someone just drops it on him and it's like truth serum? So they're really trying to find out what the fuck is going on, like through projects like that. And fucking there's also bad people like Jolly West trying to figure out Manchurian candidates, and that's where
they call him a Manchurian candidate because those damn Manchurians got no fucking morals.
I have no clue why they called him that, but fucking that's where you get into Charles Manson. He was never at the same like place as Jolly West, which is why it's kind of confusing. Is because like he was never at, like, he was at the same prison, but they weren't there at the same time. But like Manson's in prison with his parole officer, not with his parole officer, but he's got like visits and shit. And what's the theory is that I don't have the fucking information. You need to go watch fucking Tom O'Neill's Joe Rogan. He has this way better. He wrote a book on it. It's fucking insane. All the information is like mind blowing. And fucking, he went, what's it called? The theory is that Charles Manson, in that time that he was in prison, they were teaching him how to dose people with acid, and on his own, go start his own operation where he's dosing people with acid, and then trains them to kill.
Which and that way they can get it a little further from the government, so it's harder to track.
It's just another project, because the Midnight Climax thing was like one of many things, and there's a lot of shit that we don't know. They were just
fucking around with it.
They got caught with that, and so it's like, they're like, oh yeah, we were doing that. Anything they get caught with, they're like, there's no plausible deniability. They're like, yeah, okay, we did it. But
they find the fucking bucket of empty acid aerosol cans, and they're like,
well, the thing is, well, and
it's like Acme cans, like it's fucking like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, and fucking, so there's a lot of shit they didn't know about. Charlie Manson could have been another one of them, and like his thing is like his people that he was dosing up on acid. Okay, so it goes a little bit deeper. They killed two families. There was one that was there's the Levianka Murders, which is where they went to these normal people and like went in their house. They cut the electrical wires and then they went in there and killed them. It was like a husband that was asleep on the couch and a wife. They killed the husband. They killed the wife, and then they didn't do anything. They went to the Tate house, which was Sharon Tate, who was married to Roman Polanski.
Okay, so
Roman Polanski was her husband.
Was he buddies with Harvey?
No. This is like the 60s. So like fucking, what's it?
Fucking long time ago.
Yeah, whenever these people were adults. Roman Polanski was out in England shooting a movie, so he wasn't there. But she had a dude over that she was basically really liked and used to be with that was like a really good barber. And she had like a bunch of people over. And one of them was fucking Kate Folger, which was Folger's Coffee.
Really?
Folger's Coffee. Yeah, she's the heiress to that. Like she was one of the people that was, well, she would have been.
Billionaire bitch.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of rich ass people in there, and they come in there, they cut the wires, and they kill them, and they like smear the blood all over the wall. They put like political piggy and like
paint job.
They're trying. That's how they were trying to start the Helter Skelter race wars, by making it look like black people did that, because they were like all the rich people are on the side of the black people. This is what you would have to believe if you think Helter Skelter is real. They're like, all the rich people are on the side of the blacks. So let's go kill the rich people, make it look like the blacks did it, and then the rich people aren't going to side with the blacks anymore. And that's what's going to make us go after them in the race war. But because the blacks are stronger, they're still going to beat us. And so, not us, because we're going to be in the hole in the desert. And then we're going to come out and then we're going to beat them because we're morally superior, which doesn't really make sense because then the blacks would have lost to the white people in the first place. But anyways, that's what they did. And
dude, they had it all backwards. They're trying to fight against the black people when all they wanted to do was not work. They should have been working with the black people.
Dude, oh my God. Fucking. That is. Dude, but they. That shit is. They, the Sharon Tate thing, the Tate murders. The reason that they said that they were doing that is because they're trying to start the race war. No, they said not that. They said that they were fucking. There was a dude that used to live there, Terry Melcher. He was a dude that was a producer.
That's a shitty name.
It is. He was the producer for the Beach Boys. Like, you know, the Beach Boys. Yeah, and fucking like he had met with Charlie Manson, and Charlie Manson, if you didn't know, he had like music that's out that you can listen to.
Really?
And like, yeah, he thought he was gonna be a star, and like Terry Melcher was like, no, like all right, no, we don't want that. And like he was actually in reality creeped the fuck out by Manson, but like at his trial he committed perjury, which if you commit perjury at any trial, even if you're not, you don't have to have anything to do with it. You can just be a witness. You can be a cop that's on the stand, and if you lie at a trial, you're
gonna go to fucking jail.
You could get the same sentence as the person that's getting arrested. So like the Terry Melcher was saying that he only met Charles Manson like a couple times, and like basically they're saying, oh yeah, I went to go kill the people at this house because we want to scare Terry Melcher, so we're killing the people at your old house. But Charles Manson had visited Terry Melcher at his new house, so it's like, why would he, if I'm trying to scare you, why am I going to go kill these random people whenever I have a direct line to you and you're already very creeped out by me? So that guy lied on the stand and said that he'd only seen Charles Manson a couple times. He saw them like a couple days after the Tate murders when they were on the run. Like he went out to go see them and like no one knows why.
Like Terry went and saw them?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's just like, okay, well that's weird. That's another lie. Another thing, Vince Bugliosi, this is a whole different thing. We might not even be able to do the reactions today. But Vince Bugliosi was a lawyer that was going against Charles Manson. That dude was a fucking compromised nutcase. So he had a situation where he was married to this woman, made her life hell. He was just a dick and fucking...
Good man.
Yeah, exactly. She got pregnant. Vince immediately said, you were cheating on me with the milkman. You were cheating on me with the milkman. You're a whore. Oh my God. I can't believe I've seen this the entire time. I haven't seen this the entire time. So he goes and he is sure that the milkman impregnated his wife.
Meanwhile, they don't even get milk deliveries in that neighborhood.
No. Okay, so they do. But the milkman hadn't been working there for a while because he's just like, he had quit. And then he was like, whatever. I don't know how that fit into Vince's thing. He stalks the fuck out of them. Like he shows up, do a paternal test. I need to see that you're not the father. No, I didn't fuck your wife, dude. Shows up the next day. Do a paternal test. I need to see that you're not the father. No, dude, get out of here. Do a paternal test. I need you. Like he kept on doing that. Like it got like fucking. The daughter of the milkman reached out to fucking Tom O'Neill, and this is all in the book. But she said that it was not even the beginning, like what people heard about it, like because it became a public thing. Vince went to her school, picked her up, took her to the mall, bought her a fuck ton of toys, and was like standing at the edge of their driveway with their daughter, like holding a bag of like toys and shit. And the daughter didn't know what was happening. The mom saw it and was like, oh my God, ran out, grabbed their daughter and was like, what the fuck? Get out of here, Vince. And like, it was like a bunch of shit like that. And he's like, I just need to need a paternal test to see that she's not the father, or to see that he's not the father. And like, it's crazy. The wife starts showing up and is like, please just do a paternal test. He won't stop. He's literally not well. Like, please just do this for me. And like, they're like, no, get out of here. And they just didn't do it because they're like, dude, we're not trying to have any part of you. And
he's like, too bad.
Fucking, I forgot how that one ended. I'm pretty sure that Vince took it too far, and they were like, he was running for DA, and they were like, Vince, no. Like, I'm going to tell everybody everything if you, like, come out with this. Well, actually, no, this is that came out, and another thing came out. Another Vince Bugliosi blurb. He was having an affair on his wife with this with this woman, and
man's next level tripping about his wife imaginarily fucking the milkman while having an affair.
yeah, and so he gets the bitch pregnant, and
oh my fucking god!
he's like, "You gotta go get it. You gotta go get an abortion." And the girl's like, "I can't do that. I'm Catholic. I can't." He's like, "Well, that's not an. I wasn't asking." And she's like, "I can't, Vince." And he like sits there and he's like, "You need to do it." And is like getting in her face and like, "You need to go get this abortion." And she's like, "I won't." And he's like, "If you don't get the abortion, it's going to be really bad for you." And then finally muscles her into it and is like, "I'm going to give you the money. I'm going to give you a doctor. Go do the abortion." And Vince calls the abortion doctor the day after the appointment was supposed to be, and HIPAA requirements, the Health Information Protection Act, you're not supposed to be able to give that information out to anybody, but Vince is so powerful.
He told him, fucking tell me.
He was like, no one came in by that name. Like, the appointment didn't get filled. He goes over to her house, drags her by the hair, beats the shit out of her. I think she miscarried, and like, fucking, like, beat the fuck out of her. And was like, she was going to go to the police and tell, and then fucking, well, she did go to the police and tell. And then fucking Vince showed up at her house later on and was like, "I'm going to fucking kill you. Like, if you don't recant your statement right now." And she's like, "I can't. Like, Vince, it's going to be illegal on me because then I will have made a false statement." He's like, "I'll get you out of it if you just fucking go and recant your statement." And she's like, I won't. And fucking, she doesn't want to, but Vince is like, Vince is going to kill her. Because, like, Vince came with another dude, too, that's there, like, with them for some reason. And
just this fucking Batman henchman.
Yeah, and fucking, she ends up, like, calling the cops and recanting their statement. And they're like, "What? Like, all that you said was made up?" And she's just, like, there crying. And she's like, yeah, everything I said was fake. And they're like, Are you okay? We're going to come over there. And then Vince's like, no, tell them not to come over. And she's like, no, don't come.
And they're like, "We're gonna come."
They're like,
I'm gonna come.
They're like, "All right, we won't come."
And then still pull
They're
up.
like, "Let's go." And they show up, and like, she's sitting there, like, Vince opens the door, and she's sitting there fearing for her life, like, screaming, "Please help me." And Vince is just there, and fucking, he's like, "You need to leave." And the cops just fucking leave. And her statement was, it was like, whatever. And fucking,
and cops are like, "Okay,
well, that's none of our business," and moved on, because that's how cops do.
Yes, sir.
And
let the fucking men handle this, honey.
yeah, because that's how it needs to be done. And fucking Vince is a horrible guy, and like, all that came out because he was running for district attorney, and they're like, "No, we can't let this psychopath get power." Like, imagine if you were either of these two people. You're both individually like, he is an insane person. He cannot be the district attorney. And people back then actually knew what that meant and like how serious it is to be that. And fucking, like, no. And so they both went and told their story to Vince's opponent and like brought it out and made it public. And fucking,
did it actually work, or did they end up getting slaughtered by Vince?
Vince lost. And fucking, he tried to go pay the milkman again. And he was like, "I'll give you like this amount of money if you the first time he got caught, they went public with it. It's like a newspaper. He's like, "If you guys don't," because the newspaper let him know or something, and he's like, "If you guys don't do that, I'll give you this amount of money, and like, I'll never bother you again." He's like, "I don't want your fucking money. Don't talk to me or my family again." Then him cheating on his wife thing came up, and that's whenever they went public together. And then the milkman was like, "No, like, we got to come out with this." And then Vince was like, "Can I pay you, please?" And they're like, "No." And then they
played hardball.
Yeah.
I said, "Sorry."
Dude, that one is fucking crazy. And I know I didn't do a good job of explaining why. You would really need to watch the Tom O'Neill podcast.
Dude, that sounds like an insane web of fucking connections.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like overriding the most, like, before O.J. Simpson, that was the most crazy case of all time. Like, during the trial, like, the girls...
It's honestly still way more nuts than fucking OJ. The OJ shit's just a classic.
OJ, it's funny.
It's just insane.
Because I don't think there's any black people that even really think that OJ was innocent, but it was just kind of like a fuck you, white people. That's how it feels whenever you lose one. That's how it feels whenever the justice system doesn't work.
There was a lot of fucking black people that were like, I don't care if he did it or not. I just want to see him walk free.
Yeah. And it's like, good. Now you see that the shit is flawed. But then that also...
But then the only conclusion was actually, like, you didn't just watch a black man walk free. You just watched a rich motherfucker walk free. And that's the actual fucking reason. Dude,
that nigga OJ during the trial not during the trial, whenever he was talking to his lawyers, was like, they're like, oh, we're going to play on the black card, OJ, to get you out. He's like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And, like, the black lawyer, Johnny Cochran's just sitting there like... Because Johnny Cochran was like fucking Reverend Al... Like nowadays, back then, he would go and be well, actually, he is a lawyer, so he's way better than Reverend Al Sharpton. But fucking, he would go and like do all the black cases and like be like, this is a hate crime, and fucking that was his big thing. And like OJ being the rich dude, it was weird, like for him, I guess, because he's like, all right, well, this is a different dynamic than I'm used to.
Dude, yeah, that just was not a dub for black people whatsoever.
No, I still say it's a dub for black people, only because... It's funny to see that, well, it's a dub for black people if they take the lesson of, this isn't about black and white, it's about rich and poor. Like,
yeah, at least tipped them off to it.
Yeah, and like that's now evidence there for being like, hey, look, a black person can get off with a murder, double murder he clearly did, allegedly.
Just from being part of the elite.
Just from being rich. So like his richness completely overcomes his blackness. And like,
I guess that was really like the first fucking concrete evidence of that.
Yeah, because before it was like, you have full reason. Like, that was the 90s. The 60s were bad. Like, that's when the civil rights era was happening, and like things were getting right.
That's when people were like still getting shot in the head with like fucking smoke canisters by the cops and shit.
Just for protesting, like peacefully. At the sit-ins, they're getting like dragged out and shit. Fucking.
I can never for the life of me remember what the guy's name was or what riot it was at, but I swear to God it was at the Zoot Suit riots in LA, so that wasn't black people, that was Hispanics. But like, they were literally going in with non-lethal shit, and which was at that time shotguns with like the beanbag shells, and they had these big canisters that were like fucking basically potato launchers that would shoot like tear gas fucking canisters that weighed like 10 pounds, and they would launch that bitch, and they're just shooting them into restaurants that were like full of people. And they ended up doming like 3 different people with them to where the canister just like hit them in the head and snapped their neck.
Dude, like a fucking bing bang bonk or like a fucking collateral.
Dude, no, like fucking just like separate different different
like
occasions.
they're launching t-shirts.
Yes, literally just launching fucking 10-pound canisters like t-shirts, and then just
Oprah.
sniping
You
people.
get a gas canister. You get a gas canister. You get a gas canister.
Dude, yeah.
Fucking.
Like, people talk about the fire hoses and shit, not people getting their necks snapped by fucking gas canisters.
Dude, that fire hose would have been really unpleasant, though. And they're releasing the hounds on them. Dude, that is wild.
Imagine just getting chewed on by a fucking Doberman and getting shot in the back 12 times with a trench gun.
That's the shit that bothers me, though, dude, is like, it was really fucking bad. Like, at one point. Mm-hmm. It's not, like, you would never see anything like that now. Like,
yeah, but people act like it's the same.
People act like it's worse now. Mm-hmm. And fucking... Everyone will tell you, like, they'll admit it's not worse, but they act like it's worse, because it's like, back then they were doing it peacefully. Now it's like, let's go destroy a city, like with the Black Lives Matter shit. And like, I know that people would bring it up, because I remember they were shooting gas cans at those people. Those people were destroying the city. That's not a protest at that point. Like, it is a protest, but that has evolved into a riot at that point. You need to
fucking keep people safe.
And a riot is the most dangerous fuking thing of any sort of, like, anything, because you just have a fuck ton of people.
Chaos.
Exactly. And they're going after everyone, and it's hard. It's really hard to control the riot.
And there's infighting within the riots.
Yes.
That happened a shit ton when that shit was bad.
Like with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, like how he fucking shot those people. And I remember whenever that happened, they made that look like that kid was a fucking murderer.
Yeah, they made him look like a literal menace. Like, I was almost against him at the beginning when they were like, yeah, this dude literally just like went out of his way across state lines randomly just looking for a fight with his AR-15.
They didn't explain that across state lines was about as across state lines from as Camden was from Florida.
Yeah.
That was like a 20-minute drive for him to go across state lines. An
And he
Indian
had
dude,
family businesses that were there.
an Indian dude paid, like, knew Kyle and his friend and paid them to come, like, protect it. That's why he was there. He was
And he had
actually
a big
there.
ass first aid medical kit and a fucking fire extinguisher.
And he was actually there cleaning graffiti off shit earlier in the day. It's like, if he was the, and the reason it
What a
looked like,
menace.
the reason it looked like that is because the way they cut the video. Like, when you look at the full thing, you're like, okay, well, the first guy he got in a fight with is a crazy white dude that has a bag that he's carrying. Oh, yeah. He has that because he got released from a psychiatric hospital earlier that day from beating his wife up, or his woman up, and trying to kill her.
Classic.
So that dude got released for some reason on that day. Who knows why? I mean, COVID, I guess. But fucking, that dude gets out, goes and throws the bag at him. He's chasing him around and trying to take his gun and calling him a nigga.
I was
And
going to say,
fucking-
is he the one calling him the fucking N-word?
Yes, and then fucking...
A white guy also.
Yeah,
by
a
the
white
way.
guy, a white bald guy. And then he fucking shoots him. And then people start, they're like, get him! And he's running away again. And then he doesn't even shoot again until, like, they cut this part out where he's fucking sprinting down the street trying to get away from everybody. And the crowd is literally, that's why a riot turns deadly. Kyle was there trying to help. They literally turned on him in a dime because everyone didn't know what the whole story of what happened. But a riot, when there's angry people, I don't know if this is true, but I think that whenever, like, chaos starts going, I think there's a little part in our brain that, like, makes us available for the chaos.
100%.
Like, if some Vikings start coming
People
raiding
feed
you,
off that fucking energy.
yeah, like whenever a fight starts, like you feel something, you're like, I want to see it. Like you feel an energy that's fucking in you. You like, it's weird, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably what you get as like a Viking whenever you're
Literally,
about to
that's
go fucking raid.
100% fucking the Viking energy.
And even from the other people, Vikings are here. We gotta fucking get crazy as well now too, quickly, or we're going to be in a very bad position.
Yeah.
Fucking riots are really dangerous. People are just like going off of instincts. So they start chasing him. The dude, they're all chasing him. A dude with like a skateboard, or someone comes and punches him. A dude with a skateboard comes and hits him, and then he falls down. The dude with the skateboard comes back, tries to hit him again. The dude with the skateboard tries to hit him. He shoots that guy. That's the dude that got killed. Mm-hmm. Another dude comes up and is I think he has a gun on him. And fucking, he's pointing it at him, and then Kyle puts his gun on him. The
Blicked his ass.
No. The dude stopped, put his hands up. Kyle looked away. The dude tried to put the hand up again to shoot him, and then Kyle shot him in the arm.
Yeah.
And that was-
the dude tried to pull the fucking switcheroo on him.
Exactly. And he was like, he shot me. Oh my God. And that's that shit is what people saw. And it was like,
Dude, yeah.
wow, that seems more like people were attacking that kid that was actually there to help. And I mean,
And I heard what he was doing immediately before the attack happened was there was a group of people who had
they set dumpsters on fire and were pushing them in the road towards the gas station that they were at.
Yeah,
And so
because
he
there
was
was cops
extinguishing them.
parked at the gas station and they wanted to blow it up.
So that's what he was doing, is trying to put the fucking literally put the fires out.
Yeah, because he had a little fire extinguisher on his belt.
And it's like, wow, I feel like a fucking idiot because I was just so ready to railroad that kid.
Me too.
And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, imagine if that was me and the world was just so willing to just throw me, to just discount me and everything that I'm saying. Because, like, yeah. Well, I would say, before I was like, yeah, he's a stupid kid. He's made a stupid decision. I would say he's a brave kid that made a stupid decision. But bravery can always be changed into stupidity based on how the result is.
Yep.
Like if you run into a house to save your dog in a fire, and your dog like ends up that he was really in the backyard with the firefighter and you burn to death, that doesn't end up being bravery. That's stupidity. If you go to a riot and you end up trying to clean up graffiti and like you're doing all these things, and then it ends up that you kill 2 people and shoot someone, then yeah, you look like an idiot. But fucking, I don't know. I think you could be misconstrued for bravery. That's a crazy take that we fucking did that. But I was also going to go into that Epstein shit with that